Hello, sports fan. This is Stephen here with Sports Choice Plus. I'm bringing you a very special breakdown. We're going to be covering one of the most controversial topics that we've ever talked about, and it's going to be Jordan versus LeBron. Before I get right into that, I want to make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel so you can get all the updates and all the breakdowns. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I know a lot of times when we talk about Jordan versus LeBron, it's a lot of opinions. It's a lot of things that are not really factual. It's a lot of hypotheticals. It's a lot of, well, if he played against this, or they played in this frame, or they played during this time frame. But we're going to be tackling essentially what breaks the debate down and who's essentially better. From the standpoint, we know about Michael Jordan. We know about his greatness. We know about the 6 rings and being undefeated in NBA Finals, and that seems to be the golden mark that everybody talks about. That seems to be the straw that breaks the camel's back when you're comparing the two. But I'm going to dive a little bit deeper. When you think about everything that made Jordan great, yes, Jordan went through several years of losing. Yes, Jordan went through several years where he was one of the most dominant figures in the NBA, not only on the court and off the court, but he also dominated the championship ranks. When you think about 3 straight NBA titles and then another 3 straight NBA titles coming out of retirement, you got to think that's very impressive. No matter what field of work you do, to be able to retire and come back and be at the top of your game and still dominate and still be one of the greatest players of all time, it's very impressive. And you got to keep in mind, he played in an NBA where the era was a bit physical, where there was a bit of rules where you can hand check, you can do all these different things. He did go through the bad boy Pistons, he did go through the New York Knicks, he did go through the Indiana Pacers. He went through a number of challenging teams before he was able to reach that gold mark. But you also have to understand, Jordan was one of one. There wasn't another Michael Jordan. I don't care how good Kobe Bryant was. I don't care how much of a copy Kobe Bryant was. He wasn't Michael Jordan. So when you think about this, the greatest to ever lace them up can be 1A and 1B, LeBron or Michael Jordan. When you think about LeBron, when you think about the route that he took, coming into the NBA as a high schooler, touted as a chosen one, no matter if he gave the name himself or people other around him gave it to him, he's lived up to the expectations. He's lived up to the hype. Not only did he reset the market as a free agent, not only did he reset the market as an NBA player, but he's become a billionaire off the court. From the standpoint of what he's done to franchises become that much more better once he touches the franchise. And when they leave, essentially you see his mark left because they can't quite live up to the act or follow what he's been able to do. No matter if it's been in Cleveland, no matter if it's been in Miami, no matter if it's been in LA with the Lakers, the teams are not the same without him on the team. No matter if it's missing the playoffs, no matter if it's the win total, no matter if it's actually a championship, it's tough to follow LeBron. So when you think about this, he's come out of high school and he's dominated the ranks of the NBA from the standpoint of NBA championships, from the standpoint of MVPs, to the standpoint of what he's been able to do in the All-Star game, the scoring title. It's a thing of longevity. It's a thing of being healthy, a thing of having pretty solid teammates all around you. And you think about everything that he's done throughout his whole career. When you think about the likes of his championship run, he's beat the likes of Tim Duncan. He's beat the likes of Kevin Durant. He's beat the likes of a Miami Heat team with a couple of good players on it, Jimmy Butler and company. So you also think that from the standpoint of how he's been able to carry himself on and off the court. Not only does his game transcend, but he's still, at this point in time, 40 years of age, still one of the top 10 players in the NBA. When you think about what he's been able to do longevity-wise, look at right now. Just look at this season right now. Look at the numbers right now. If we have to compare him to any other 40-year-old, he's the best 40-year-old to ever do it. If we had to compare him to any other 39-year-old, he's the best 39-year-old we've ever seen do it. With numbers that are astronomical, similar to ones of him in his prime, LeBron has helped transcend every single team that he's been on. Now, Michael Jordan took a different route. When you think about Michael Jordan, he needed Scottie Pippen, he needed Phil Jackson, Rodman, Tony Kukoc. He needed a number of guys. So did LeBron. With the likes of Dwayne Wade, with the likes of Kevin Love, and so many different others, Jordan and LeBron took 2 different paths to where they are right now. But I will say this, if you look at all the records, yes, LeBron's probably passed Michael Jordan on all the different records. The record that last to stand is probably the 6-ring mark. And if you look at, if LeBron's passed him in points, he's passed him in assists, he's passed him in blocks, he's passed him in steals, he's done everything individually that he can do, what else is there LeBron can do except the 6 rings? Well, I have something else. Being able to be the same player you are year 1 to the same player you are year 23, 24. Being able to not only exploit offenses and still get to the rack, being able to not just have hops, but your physical ability is carrying you and making you that much more better than anybody in your class. I will say this, LeBron James has not only elevated himself on the court and off the court, just like Jordan did. From the standpoint, who knows what Jordan could have done if he never retired? Who knows what Jordan could have done if he never essentially was suspended from the NBA, if you want to think about it? Think about all the years that Jordan spent where he was essentially not on the basketball court. Could he have gone 8 straight? Possibly. Could he have won championships in a row to close out a decade? Possibly. But you got to think, there was a period of where Michael Jordan was a player with the Wizards. There was a period of time point where before Michael Jordan started winning championships, the failures against the Celtics, the failures against the Pistons. These things are the same things that LeBron struggled with when he struggled against the Boston Celtics. He struggled against the Pistons. But he found a way, and Jordan found a way to get where they are overall. Now, both these players are great players in their own right. Both these players don't need any type of sympathy when you're talking about their story, because both these players are considered 1A and 1B, the greatest of all time. But I will say this, the standpoint that's different, I feel like there's more parity now than there ever was back in the day. I feel like you now have super teams all over. You do have opportunities for players to jump across and boom, boom, boom. You got 3 or 4 all-stars on one team, and that's not normal. Yes, LeBron helped usher that in, but you got to think, there was also a Lakers team when Jordan played that had a whole bunch of superstars and Hall of Famers on it. There was a Celtics team that was similar that had a whole bunch of players on it. So you got to think, LeBron wasn't the first to ever be on a super team. LeBron wasn't the first to ever manipulate his way in and out of some place where all of a sudden now you got a whole bunch of great players on the team. So you got to understand there was different decades, different eras, different players that transcended the game. And if you think about this, LeBron has beaten more Hall of Famers on more teams for more championships than Jordan has. When you think about the likes of John Stockton and Karl Malone, they were older when they faced Jordan. When you think about the likes of Charles Barkley, that was probably the best player that he had in his prime versus any championship contender. When you look at the Supersonics with Perkins, Gary Payton, Shawn Kemp, they were not yet where they needed to be. They were not in their mature prime years where, okay, now we understand how to play basketball. We know how to beat these teams. He beat a Magic that was old. The Trailblazers was an exception, and you got to think, he beat a Clyde Drexler that was pretty impressive. But when you think about the vast majority of the teams he beat, he didn't beat anybody that was AKA in their prime at the top of their game. When you think of the likes of the Oklahoma City Thunder and they beat them, he caught them when they were young. Think about this. They put together super teams to beat LeBron James. The likes of the Oklahoma City Thunder lost Kevin Durant to the Golden State Warriors in the offseason. And all of a sudden, they had a super team of Steph, Clay, Draymond, Andre Iguodala, Kevin Durant, all on one team to beat one guy. So you have to essentially form an Avengers-type team in order to beat LeBron. You essentially have to figure out, okay, we're making a big 3 over here. We're making a big 2 over here. We're making a big 3 over here just to have a chance to keep up with LeBron James. Think about the dominance. Yes, he didn't win all the championships Jordan did, but he had the same similar effect that Jordan had on the East Coast, where he would stop different teams from going. The Raptors weren't able to be successful with LeBron there. The Bucks weren't able to be successful with LeBron there. And you're talking about the Washington Wizards with Gilbert Arenas. There was a number of teams that ran directly into the buzzsaw. The Atlanta Hawks, when they had Josh Smith and Joe Johnson and Mike Bibby, and they had an elite team, they ran into to LeBron. So both these guys were great in their own right. I think LeBron has passed Jordan as far as accolades go, because when you play for that long of a time, you play for that attested amount of time, you're going to break records. You're going to shatter records, especially when you're playing at a high level. And remember, LeBron came into the NBA out of high school, not out of college. So if Jordan wasn't good enough to do that, that's a conversation in itself. You have to understand, LeBron can't control what Jordan did, but he can control how good he was coming into the NBA. He can control what he did his rookie year, his first, second, third, fourth year. He can control the different moments he's had. And again, LeBron should have won more MVP, should have won more titles. We can say the same thing about Jordan. But when it's all said and done, this type of play, this type of thing that's put them in the upper echelon deserves to be celebrated on both sides. Now, when it's all said and done, I've seen both of them play. I've been alive long enough to see Michael Jordan in his prime, in his heyday, And I've been alive long enough to see LeBron do his thing in his prime from rookie season all the way to what it is now. So you got to think. It's impressive on both sides, but I have to give the nod to LeBron James. From the standpoint of everything he's done to everything he's doing, the stats continue to pile themselves. And it's only so much you can tell me about a 40-year-old that's top 5 in the NBA. It's only so much you can tell me about a guy that was a Washington Wizards player that couldn't average more than 25 points a game on a consistent night, that couldn't play back-to-backs, that couldn't do what he's doing now. And again, I know we're talking about Bronny and all these things and his son playing in the NBA, but LeBron has been a gold star standard for the NBA, and he's been one of the best players every single year. No matter if Kobe's there, no matter if the Greek Freak is there, no matter if Steph Curry's there, no matter if KD's there, no matter if James Harden's there, Russell Westbrook's there, no matter if Tim Duncan's there, no matter what, Dirk Nowitzki, nothing. He's been a model citizen, and he's been one of the best players in the NBA. No matter if he was on D-Wade's team or Kevin Love's team. No matter if he had Kyrie Irving right next to him or he was a member of the Los Angeles Lakers with AD. He's been a model of consistency. Now, mind you, Jordan was the same thing. But Jordan didn't accomplish what he accomplished right now. Essentially, every team LeBron's played for, he's won a championship. No matter if he's going to Cleveland, no matter if he's going to Miami, no matter if he's going to Los Angeles. He's been great. So I ask of you, I beg of you, dig a little deeper. Think outside the box. What makes Jordan better than LeBron? What makes LeBron better than Jordan outside of 6 rings? If 6 rings is your only argument, you have to look more into the basketball, look more into the numbers, look more into everything. Because when it's all said and done, these 2 pioneers of the Chicago Bulls, Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat, Los Angeles Lakers, have put so much into the game of basketball that they've infused their DNA into the NBA story. You can't tell the NBA without talking about Michael Jordan. You can't tell the NBA without talking about LeBron James. Each one has been elite for so long, for so many years. They should have statues outside of where they played. They should have everything, boom, 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 because you understand what sacrifice they played to be great. Now, again, you have people to talk about Jordan wasn't a good teammate. He was a damn good player. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to run and salivate to you and be like, oh, well, I want to be your friend. Some things that made Michael Jordan great, but he was a killer. Some things that Michael Jordan great, he wasn't friendly. He talked shit to everybody, even his own teammates. So you got to understand, LeBron may be different, and I think what makes LeBron special, he's a pass-first scorer. So you got to think about this. He wasn't just looking to score himself. He was looking to get his teammates involved. He was looking to get three-pointer shooters involved. The strikers like Dwayne Wade that was slashers. He was looking to involve everybody. But when it's all said and done, I want to know, who do you feel was better, Jordan or LeBron? Get in the comment section below. Definitely check out Sports Choice Plus, and let's have the debate. Let's have the conversation. And then we'll be back with the rebuttal in the comments. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you for your time.